afternoon. I hope you and your families are well, William and Kate. I appreciate that you both took the time to meet here once again, as I know how busy our day-to-day run-ins in the company can be. As you both know, in the last week's meeting, I raised the issue of bringing a formal code of ethics to Carolina metal fabrication. I was very pleased at how our meeting went, and it gave us each an opportunity to express our views and feelings on the matter. To move this matter forward, we're having this meeting today. As a partnership, we all have equal input, and as you both know, I highly respect each of your opinions. So far on our journey, we have been extremely successful, and a large part of this is our ability to come together and make decisions with respect and understanding for one another. I want to stress and emphasize that the points I make throughout this meeting are points that are merely of my own. They're not judgmental in any way, shape, or form, and they have the best interests of the company at heart. As we have it on this issue, I have the casting vote. Kate, you are in agreement with the biblical principles that I suggested in last week's meeting. However, I have made sure that I don't just follow my initial viewpoint. As William, you have provided a number of valid points and worries, alongside research by Albert Carr in business bluffing ethical. So, I have taken the time to read through what you've provided in order to come to a fair conclusion that is respectful of our partnership. I'm aware you believe in a purely secular approach that you believe will not risk our sales or profits or put us at a commercial disadvantage. So to begin, I would like to discuss the article you presented by Carr by offering a brief summary of what I saw. I believe Carr is trying to explain that there is a dark side of business that is a reality that truly exists that often we try to gloss over and not see. He believes there is an inescapable reality that we have two sets of morals, one for business and one for our personal lives. He believes that these are not so much together, that one does not affect the other, that you can still be a good man in your personal life without your business life being affected and vice versa. He often uses this bluffing analogy in poker, and that we are judged by our own set of standards and not ethical principles when we do this. So what we deem to be correct is fine, because bluffing in business is merely game strategy rather than lying. And this creates this game ethics versus the ethics of religion, where in the ethics of religion these things are wrong, but in the context of a game there is no real consequences, is separate. And he believes that people that fail to distinguish this separation will fail to be successful in business, because they do not take the opportunities that they could otherwise have and are limited by the ethics of religion. Personally, I believe that he is right. There is a dark side to business. However, I do not necessarily agree with his reaction and interpretation. From the Beyond Integrity, it is growing in business to integrate spiritual values in many companies across the country. They believe that ethical lapses are short-sighted, and that having these ethical principles based on religion actually serve to attract customers and motivate employees at the same time. This is obviously one of our main goals, and I realize that there are opportunities that we could lose out on, but there are also so many more avenues that we can do, and I believe that we can pioneer in this new growth. To go further into Carr's article, he states that most executives from time to time are almost compelled, in the interests of their companies or themselves, to practice some form of deception. Obviously, against ethical principles that are based on religion, this is wrong. His reaction to this is very interesting, because this is the main part where he's leading on to ignoring opportunities that are permitted under the rules, and that we're at a heavy disadvantage, which is your main worry, of course, William, in business dealings. And this is where he uses that poker analogy that I find very interesting. However, this culture is not particularly something I'd like our employees to feel, or for even ourselves to feel. There's often a stress of operating a company this way that I can believe to be draining to a lot of employees, and I would rather foster a more competitive mindset in a positive way. I believe we should still be competitive, and I think that we can be. Um, he then goes on to build the idea that everyone else does it, so we would be foolish not to. He states that we do not make the laws. In this, he is correct. However, if we brutally apply this rule, we can justify many horrible actions. And I would like this company to be in a position to push change in the community and be bigger and more progressive to improving our society and the people within our company. Um, in my view, this is a way that we can justify compartmentalizing our lives in a way. I don't want to be the person to come home and feel ashamed of what I did today because we did something that we may not agree with in other walks of life. I'd rather come home to my family and be able to speak about how my day went with no potential issues to come up. Carr does make a number of great points, and he offers a very populist perspective to a lot of people in business. However, a number of arguments to me, such as when he talks about the smoke and mirrors of ethics of religion, I feel can be used in both ways. He uses them more to say that these ethics are there to stop us as businessmen and to limit us. However, it often comes across more fearful than competitive in my eyes. And it feels like they may be smoke and mirrors in return as an excuse to maybe some of the shortcomings and weaknesses that many of these businesses may have if they could not otherwise bluff. In Beyond Integrity, Dallas Willard, in The Business of Business, states that the goal of a business is not self-interest, we provide service instead. Therefore, from this point of view, I could see that we should run our business to serve and to reap the rewards that we earn through our service. And in this, I still recognize the advancements in society and the competitive mentality that is growing. However, I feel this should only make our mission stronger. As other companies go further away from the service side of it and their customers, I feel that we could grow closer to ours. He states, in the field of modern business so rich in opportunity, mere money making cannot be regarded as a legitimate end. In this, I agree with him. I feel like the mission of our company can be bigger, and so we can reap the rewards of having this mentality. That's not to say that we don't understand profit and survival, which is of course important because without money we do not have a business. However, I'd like to be part of a business that serves and doesn't put profit above the expense of the public good. To expand on this point, Hill in Just Business makes some great points that go beyond our meeting of last week around holiness, justice, and love. Particularly, I'd like to bring up the points around justice. He states that justice has four basic concepts of procedural rights, substantive rights, merit, and contractual justice. If we use the example of Bluffing made by Carr, then we do not provide fair and adequate evidence. This breaches producer rights, and we also bend the rules of merit in that we may lay claim to things that we may otherwise not have deserved or deceived someone. Lastly, there's the example of contractual justice, where we risk severe individualism within our company. And this is a culture I'd like to avoid, as I'd rather bring our employees together to work as one rather than be out for each other. So in bringing everything together, all of these arguments and discussions, it's been great to see the positive response from the both of you, and it's been important in making this decision. As we all know by now, a decision has to be made, and I have decided not to sway from my original viewpoint. I still believe that we should base our formal code of ethics on Christian principles. Therefore, my casting vote will go ahead in that direction. William, I hope you can respect my decision, but don't think this is a case of leaving you out now. I'd love to be able to see what we can do to ease some of those worries that I'm sure you still have. And it's a discussion that we can continue to work on well in advance of this meeting. Overall, I'm very excited to take the company forward in this direction, and would like to bring an end to our meeting if there is nothing either of you have to say or any questions that you want to direct at me at this point.